with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle. Join us live on VTRN Sports 93.3 FM or the VTRN Sports app. Open VTRN Sports on your smart speaker or stream live on YouTube. Time to get ready for your day with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle and Ty Tracy.
7:03 on this Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. Trey Lyle, Philip Doss,
Yo,
Ty Tracy lurking in the back. We'll have Lake Lewis on in a matter of moments around 7:20 today. We'll wrap up the show with having to teach Philip a lesson after his earlier comments before the show today about the NBA playoffs, how you do not overreact to game one, which got proven last night with the game twos.
Keeping up with sports 24/7 takes some serious effort, especially when you're sleeping. Don't worry, the morning warm-up stays alert around the clock. Now here is everything you missed last night.
Starting with the headlines before we get to the scores of last night, the NCAA Division I Board of Directors on Monday proposed deleting 153 long-standing rules from its handbook, a move that will allow schools to share financial benefits directly with players, an expected step towards the new era of amateurism in college athletics. I don't know why they're still calling it amateurism. But one of the things that remains contingent upon the House approval settlement, which is still TBD. We had a college football trade yesterday. Well, sort of. A day after Nico Malieva finalized his move to Tennessee, Joey Aguilar is doing the same as he entered the former App State, but he transferred to UCLA, so he was in line for the UCLA starting quarterback. He is now re-entering the portal and is transferring to, guess where, Philip?
Old Rocky Top.
Tennessee, yes. So it's essentially a quarterback trade. Sources told ESPN on Monday. Speaking of UCLA adding quarterbacks, Madden Imalieva, former UCLA commit, then on signing day flips to Arkansas. Now flips back to UCLA. He's going to enter the portal, and he's committed to UCLA, joining his brother. Sources confirm to ESPN. And other headlines for you: Pro Bowl center Cam Jurgens and the Eagles reached an agreement on a 4-year, $68 million extension, and that includes $39.4 million guaranteed that contractually ties him to Philadelphia through the 2029 season, per the team and agent Ryan Tolnier told ESPN's Adam Schefter. The team also officially announced it yesterday. Cam proved to be one of the best centers in the NFL this year. The Eagles pay him early. Not shocked by that. As for the UCLA Tennessee trade, I mean, Joey Aguilar was a really good quarterback at App State last year. The Tennessee system is very quarterback friendly, and if Aguilar can just be accurate and be Hendon Hooker, I think the Tennessee offense, statistically, I'm saying keyword is statistically, could take a step up next year, because I think Nico is more talented quarterback. It would have been interesting to see. We were this close to a Joey Aguilar versus, Philip Doss might have been able to see him up close.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Hurricane rattled that part of North Carolina, and unfortunately weren't able to play that game, which, hindsight's 2020. But I think it's very understandable why that game was not played. If you just look, we're looking back at last season. As for the Madden and Malieva thing, okay, go play with your brother. I think that's you see this all the time. I do not care.
Was he a QB or wide receiver too? Is he going to go back up his brother?
He was always backup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a quarterback. So, which Madden Imalieva is an interesting name.
Yeah.
So, I guess named after John Madden. But oh well. So this dude was a semester. Was literally not even. He was an early enrollee in December, so the winter semester, and is already in the portal. I guess he'll finish out the semester this year.
I guess I'd rather live in California than.
But theoretically, taxes.
Oh yeah.
But we are with your brother, and you're from California. So it makes sense. But I will say this, like, I guess theoretically for him, he's just as if he enrolls like a normal student when he would start, because if he enrolled early, he'd just be theoretically a semester ahead. So he's just burning the semester ahead to stay on time. But I mean, I'm not shocked by it. Like, I'm not. As soon as he entered the portal, I knew where he was going to end up, which was UCLA. Which credit to UCLA for upgrading their quarterback room, at least from a talent point of view. They had Dante Moore, obviously. Dante transfer after Chip left, transferred to Oregon, and they had Garbers, who was solid, but no real, I would say, talent. But talent wise is not no Nico. A couple other news and notes, not shocking. The Atlanta Hawks fired Landry Fields. They've been a mid team for so long, even though they got the number one pick last year. So that's really not shocking. Shout out to Knicks legend Landry Field. And a couple, this is a tuck away for later, but an interesting nugget. College Football Metallica, or EA College Football and Metallica are doing the Ultimate Marching Band competition. So they're joining forces to give one college marching band the opportunity to take the field and get in the game. The Division I winner of the for whom the band holds competition will not only record the college football theme song, but also record a Metallica song for a future edition of CFP. So I wonder. I'm assuming Virginia Tech will enter it.
You think?
The competition.
Yeah.
But if this relationship between, obviously, one of the kind of sticking points, I wouldn't say it's a sticking point because I just wanted the game back, but there's no Enter Sandman in EA College Football 25. I'm assuming with this relationship that in EA College Football 26 that we are likely to see Metallica Enter Sandman.
That'd be good.
As for the scores last night, we'll get to the Capitals in 1 second. Jets 2, Blues 1. They go up 2-0 in the series. Stars were able to tie their series in the overtime with the Avalanche as they defeat the Avalanche 4-3 in overtime. Kings go up 1-0 in the series as they defeat the Oilers 6-5. Kind of nuts. The Oilers had a 4-goal third period to take the lead, and then the Kings actually scored 2-2-2. Nice and simple. And then last night in the nation's capital, the greatest goal scorer in the history of hockey decided to finally there's rare times now in Alexander Ovechkin's career where you could say he did not score this type of goal. But for last night, he made history.
It squirts loose. On tempo, ready. Rebounded tight. Score! For the first time in his career, Alex Ovechkin has a Stanley Cup playoff overtime goal.
Thank you to the Monumental Sports Network for that call as Alexander Ovechkin nets 2 goals as the Capitals win 3-2 over the Canadiens to take a 1-0 series lead. Ovi does it again after the Caps almost blew a 2-0 lead in that third period. They come back in overtime because of Alexander Ovechkin's second goal of the night to get in overtime, his first playoff overtime goal. So there's a rare time where we look at hockey and we can say Alex Ovechkin has not scored a goal like this. And last night was one of those nights. And Cavs taking 1-0 series lead. I don't think they'll have trouble with the Canadiens. They're the best team in the East record-wise. Feel pretty confident saying they will do what they want to do. I will say this interesting note: the Blues are facing obviously the Jets were the President Cup winners. The President Cup has been bad luck recently in terms of NHL playoffs. So good for the Jets to go up 2-0 in that one. I think Avalanche Stars will be a very, very fun series. So keep an eye on that one as well. Moving to the association last night. Pistons 100, Knicks 94, and this game was starting to play out exactly like the last one. Not like blow for blow, bar for bar, shout Soldier Boy, but basically the Pistons had a nice lead going into the fourth, and the Knicks were going on, I think it was a 12-0 run. They cut it and tied it at, I want to say, 94 apiece in the fourth quarter. And then, of all people, it was Dennis Schroeder. It was 94-94. Josh Hart tied it, and then Dennis Schroeder hits a three to go up 97-94. That's enough for the Knicks, or for the Pistons, to get their first playoff win since 2008. And if you look at this, compare this from game one to game two, the Pistons look like a team that has lacked experience late in playoff games. They've played well for three quarters, and then they let it go in the fourth, and ultimately the Knicks pull away. And in this one, it was starting to happen again. But luckily, they have Dennis Schroeder, which it was a sneaky move for them. Like, no one wanted Dennis Schroeder on trade deadline day, and he just ended up on the Pistons. And for Schroeder, I mean, he's not afraid to hit a big shot. He did it with the Lakers. Like, I think he hit the clinching three in a play-in game when it was Lakers-Warriors.
Yeah, weirdly enough, you just want to expect that from him.
So, and if you look at their roster, like, he's the only one with true, experience. Like, it's not like for like, but Dennis Schroeder, like, has big game experience both in the NBA and in the international level with his time at Germany. But shout out Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, which again, he should not win Most Improved Player because he was the number one overall pick. That's the only reason why. In his two playoff games so far, 33 points. I mean, we mentioned he did not play great. He had 21 points in the first one, but he did have 12 assists. But last night he was awesome. 33 points against 12 boards, 3 assists against the Knicks. Brunson he had 37. I mean, look at this is the Knicks. The 37, 10, 10, 19, 10. That's the starters. Campaign was not giving you 13 again or whatever he got.
Yeah.
Miles McBride had 8. He baked in a wild 3. Like, you look at this. The Knicks are going to be relying on their starting 5. And I think, unfortunately, you look at Cat with only 10 points. Now, is this an issue? They just did not give the Cat the ball. And when we've heard of Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, for people unfamiliar, but I just think, man, they need to get Cat more involved. Brunson drops 37, but he was flailing a lot. I will say that. But ultimately they get the win. And then last night in the nightcap, 105-102, Clippers tie the series at 1 game apiece. Kawhi Leonard pulled back the clock and drops 39. It was awesome last night. Was dominant. 15 and 19 from the field in this one. Jokic had a triple-double, 26, 10 and 10, I believe. And he's the best player in the world for a reason. 26, 12, and 10, excuse me. Murray had 23. Harden had 18. But, Kawhi carried the way for the Clippers. This is the scary part about the Clippers. Like, if Kawhi plays like this, I think the Clippers could beat anybody outside of Oklahoma City. Unfortunately, they'll have to play Oklahoma City probably in the second round. And I think they have a real shot. But I feel like if you're an NBA fan listening to this, we could talk basically, like, hey, Shams could tweet Kawhi's got a inflated knee and is out for game 3. Like, I would not be shocked. I still lean Nuggets because I think this series is going 7.
Yeah.
And they'll be at home and they have the best player in the world. But Philip, and we'll talk more about it later, Philip was like, the Lakers are going to lose the series. We're talking about the Lakers who play tonight. And I had to remind Philip, did you not listen yesterday? We do not overreact to game 1. Okay? And that was proven last night.
Little bit, maybe.
No, you say, all right, these are concerns, but you don't go a 180 on what you think the series is going to be.
Yeah.
For a reason, they're 7 games.
Probably jumped the gun a little bit on the Lakers game.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But thoughts on Clippers Nuggets?
Yeah, I think this game will stretch out to 6 or 7 games. If you look at the box score, like Russell Westbrook and Christian Braun, both Russell had 14, 1 and 4, and Chris Braun had 5, 2 and 6, and really taking away those energy getters, the people that are going to really get buckets for the Nuggets down the stretch when Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr., Jokic aren't. They're just not fine. They're just not finding the bucket as well as they usually do. Just taking away those guys that will come in the background and really give you guys a lot of points, like those two. Taking those guys away is going to be really important, especially Aaron. I feel like Aaron Gordon's really an offer all night type of person, but he's another one of those guys that's always going to get you a bucket when you need it. And really just again, Jamal Murray and Jokic, they're going to lead the way as usual. But taking away what's around them, they could be lost in the dark. So if they can figure out, Clippers can figure out how to just game plan around that, which of course they are, and it does help for Kawhi to come alive and have 39 points, 5, 6, 3 rebounds. If they can continue that, just shut down everything around them, it'll be a good series.
It will indeed. So there you have it. That's everything you missed last night. Give us your thoughts on the games at Trey Lyle VT, at Philip Doss 1. I can remember those things. And as a reminder, if you want to enjoy the little things in life, you got to get healthy. And of course, the Thrive Lynchburg Health and Wellness Expo is coming to the area on Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd at the Liberty University Indoor Track. You can go to thrivelych.com for more information. Over 50 vendors, including physicians, gyms, and a wide range of health and wellness experts, free admission, fun activities, and educational activities for the entire family. You can also run for their lives 5K, the kids 1 mile race, which is Saturday. That's Saturday, 9 a.m. on Saturday, May 3rd. If you want to race at Lane, you can. Phil Doss will be racing at Lane.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, my God. I tricked him into it. He will be racing at Lane. And if you think Philip's going to win,
BB at Lane, baby.
I would love to see this. I would show up just to see it. But we'll see. So, but yeah, if you can beat Ed Lane, go to this. See if you can beat Ed Lane. If you can, and you document it, I will shout you out on this show as well. So, and I put more money on you trying to you beating Philip Doss. All right, when we come back here on the morning warm-up, Lake Lewis, NFL Insider, Commanders Insider, joins us to talk about could the best possible outcome for the Commanders be Jackson Dart available at 29? Find out next here on the morning warm-up.
Selection, value, finance options, and exceptional service. Why start anywhere else? It's all in one location at the Used Car Superstore on the Sheeler Motor Mile. And with straightforward pricing and inventory arriving daily, there's no reason to start anywhere else than the Motor Mile. Volume selling means volume pricing, and we've got the volume. The Used Car Superstore is your one stop for most makes and models. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, many have miles in the teens, remaining factory warranties, and some are even local one-owner vehicles. Shop over 900 used vehicles in stock now, more than any other dealer in the area. Sheeler owns the finance company, so getting approved for credit is easy on the Motor Mile. With financing options for every budget, you're a valued customer and not just a number on the Motor Mile. The Used Car Superstore on the Sheeler Motor Mile, your premier family-owned car dealer serving Southwest Virginia and surrounding areas for 50 years. I-81 exit 118C in Christiansburg. Call 866-SHEELER1. Always open at Sheeler.com. And we're excited to welcome Honda and Hyundai to the Motor Mile family. Why start anywhere else?
Join us at the Thrive Lynchburg Health and Wellness Expo on May 2nd and 3rd at Liberty University's Indoor Track Complex. Meet over 50 vendors, including physicians, gyms, and a wide range of health and wellness experts. Enjoy free admission, fun activities, and educational sessions for the whole family. For more information, visit thrivelyh.com. We hope you come see us at Liberty's Indoor Track Facility on May 2nd and 3rd for the Thrive Lynchburg
Who doesn't?
Health
We'll do today in sports history and
Few things are more majestic than nature as long as it's outside your house. Unfortunately, when wildlife gets inside your chimney, it leads to
Randy might
problems.
be on a 740 now.
Prevent this problem with Black Goose Chimney Service. They provide one-time solutions to ensure the wildlife stays outside your home. And if you've had wildlife inside your house, Black Goose Chimney Service can deal with the aftermath and make sure they don't return. Call Black Goose Chimney Service and visit them at blackgoose.net.
Car insurance rates are rising rapidly. That's no secret. It's because the cost of medical care for those who are injured and the repair and replacement cost of damaged vehicles is skyrocketing. But what can you do about it?
I really want someone to tweet me.
They don't
need a quarterback. They got Jaden Daniels.
Helping Central Virginia drivers purchase the coverage they need at affordable prices since 1993. Talk with us before you pay again. We represent numerous companies and have many cost-saving strategies. Gardner Insurance Solutions, 434-316-5433.
Are you ready to move to the next chapter of your life? That means you're ready for us. Hi, I'm Moyanne Harding, the region's only total turnkey realtor and interior designer. We'll come to you and help you decide what you're ready to let go of and bring you top dollar for those unwanted items. Most importantly, we'll sell your most valuable investment, your home. With decades of experience, just hand your keys to us and let the stress melt away. Call me today and book your consultation, www.moyanne.com.
Moyanne Harding, brokered by Keller Williams.
Welcome to the Villas at Oakwood, offered by Oakwood Villas Retirement Homes, LLC, the best kept secret in Bedford. Our stunning community offers spacious, one-level modern villas with top-of-the-line amenities. Enjoy a walk through our landscape community, connect with neighbors in our clubhouse, and take in the views of the peaks. Visit thevillas@oakwood.com or contact Robin Lee Sage at 434-238-4477, brokered by Legacy Realty and Development.
Your home is more than just walls and windows. It's where life happens. And at Right Choice Construction, we get that. We're not just builders. We're fathers, mothers, neighbors, just like you. And every nail and every beam reflects our commitment to creating a place you're proud to live in. With Right Choice Construction, you're choosing a team that's been perfecting the art of building for years. So build with us, build with experience, build with quality. Build with Right Choice.
Depressed about your favorite sports team? Well, VTRN Sports is presented by the perfect relaxing VTL Spot. Eat at One Roll Bar on Church Street in downtown Lynchburg.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the morning warm-up. Stay connected with the show at Trey Lyle VT and
there he is
on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
Welcome back to the morning warm-up. It is 7:25 on this beautiful Tuesday, April 22nd. One of my favorite weeks of the year, draft week. Joining us now is Lake Lewis as we are fixing the echo. That's on my end, Philip, so we're good. All right. Fix that. Sorry about that, Lake. You just heard that echo the entire time. Lake Lewis Jr. at Lake Lewis Jr. NFL and Commanders Insider. All right, I teased this going to break, and so I'm going to make it my first question. Is the Commanders' best possible opportunity in the NFL draft is if Jackson Dart is available at 29, and the Browns obviously are probably going to take Travis Hunter. So we're in a scenario where, Commanders have 5 picks. They need to accrue maybe more picks. Is that possibly the a best case scenario? Is Adam Peters maybe jumping for joy if that scenario falls his way?
I mean, I could see how that could be a thing, but I don't think they would do that, because I think that at 29, there's going to be a lot of really good players that are going to be at the top of their board that are still going to be there for them at 29. So, yeah, I mean, from a trade back scenario, I don't even know if you need to take Jackson Dart to trade back. Because, again, if there's a lot of good players that are going to be on Washington's board at 29, maybe 3-4 players that they couldn't believe were still sitting there. Other teams are going to be thinking the same thing. And yes, I see where you're going with that, Trey. I do. But I don't know, because I think that there could be other teams that may value a player just as much as, say, a team needing a quarterback values Jackson Dart. There could be a team that really needs a wide receiver, and let's just say Luther Burden is sitting there. I'm not so sure if Washington lets him walk at 29 if he's sitting there. So it's a whole bunch of different variables. But for the first time in my adult professional career, there's a competent GM in the building. There never was a GM in the building before. That I think he knows what he's doing. So I'm just going to trust the process and see what he comes up with.
Oh, trust the process. That might be a triggering word for Ed Lane, the Sixers fan. So just be careful with that. But we'll get to the draft back in a second. But I do want to bring this up. You brought up a great tweet, and as someone who is 20, will be 28 next month, and grew up in this area, wasn't a fan of the DC team, maybe because they were so incompetent. And I think that's a fair word to say.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing, for fans is the $3 billion investment they're going to get at the old RFK site. And I know we've talked about this before. I know Ed has talked about this before with you or Seawall on the fast lane. How big is it? It's like now that it's finally here, like it's finally going to happen. Like they are going back to the original site. They will be in Washington, D.C. There is an actual committed investment to this stadium. Like there's a clear plan, which is something that just really hasn't happened since they left that stadium.
Yeah, it's huge, and I'm a DC native, so it's touching in a lot of ways. It's emotional because I have family. My sister lives literally like less than 10 minutes away from the current stadium in Maryland. So whenever I go up, I try to get a chance to visit her, on the Sundays that we have home games. But it sucks, man. I'm just going to flat out say it. It sucks driving into Northwest Stadium. And I'm not trying to knock Northwest as a brand because they've just been the stadium holders for 1 year. But we all know it as FedEx. It sucked. It really did. The stadium wasn't good. The parking was terrible. Getting in and out was terrible. I mean, just everything about it just wasn't good. And that's just me. And I'm sorry if I'm offending people out in Maryland. But the point is that, we practice, and I keep saying we because, I'm there, but, I'm not employed by the Commanders. I cover them, but I'm there. I'll be there today for the pressers, So all that takes place in what? Ashburn, Virginia. And then on Sundays, you're driving an hour away into Maryland to play, and you're going through DC to get there. There was nothing about DC that was Washington for the last 30 years. And that's a shame because that's what the backdrop was, when they were in their heyday and they were on, CBS or whatever's channel they were on. If it was Madden and Summerall calling the game or Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen, whoever was calling those games, when those games came on, they panned the stadium and you saw the Capitol building and the monument in the background. It was DC. So over the last 30 years, not only have they not had that, Trey, they've been losing. So it magnified how poor and how bad it was. So for them to be moving back to where the glory days were, not the same stadium, obviously, but those grounds, those are hallowed grounds. And not to get long-winded here, but as a joke, whenever I drive by RFK, a couple friends of mine, we turn the music down in the car. Well, whatever's going on, we just turn it down and we give it a moment of silence as we go around it, just out of respect. So hopefully now this will be a good thing to get it back there.
That's a fitting tribute, we'll say. A bigger picture question, and you might not know the answer to this, but or you can just assume, with this new site, do you expect it to be, I don't want to call it a dome stadium, but maybe something similar to what we see in Atlanta, where the retractable roof? Because you look at what's going on in the United States in these next couple of years. You have the Olympics, which that's in LA, but still the Olympics are in the United States. Obviously, bigger thing is the World Cup. Both the men's and women's World Cup are coming to the United States. This site's supposed to be done by 2030. Do you expect that this will be a type of venue where they can attract a Super Bowl? They can attract, even big things outside of football, where your WrestleManias of the world, your Final Fours of the world. Like, Are you expecting that type of venue? Because, there's nothing like it really that comes to the nation's capital. I guess the only things I can think of are like basketball conference tournaments that play at the Capital One Arena, and like the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight will be there 1 year. But do you expect this venue to be not a fully outdoor stadium where they can host events like the Final Four, et cetera, et cetera?
Absolutely. I do. I don't want a full blown dome. I don't think any old head like myself wants that for this team. But I think all of us do recognize that, there's a reason why the Cowboys are the most lucrative team in sports, and it's because the owner of that team's pockets are so deep because in his building, in Jerry's world, AT&T Stadium, they literally have events all year long, boxing matches. I mean, everything comes in there, college bowl games. So yeah, why not Washington? And I do think, the backdrop of other things that could happen there. You could have conventions and things like that coming there. So I do see a retractable roof. I haven't heard that from anyone. I think today there'll be a lot of those questions asked, outside of draft stuff. I'm sure that's going to come up. So hopefully we get, a little bit of an answer to it. But the renderings that have gone around look really impressive. I think anything's going to look more impressive than what they're in now. But, you do know, if anything, about Josh Harris and Adam Peters and Dan Quinn, and now you have Jaden. You have a toy for the NFL now that everyone wants to see. You want to make sure you get this stadium right, and I have a feeling it's going to be a first-class stadium. Just don't want it to be one of those big mega stadiums, because sometimes those stadiums are so large you can get a lot of the opposing team's fans in there. So you want to make it quaint. But I think 70,000 on that ground. I don't think they have that much room to build something monstrous. So yeah.
We're here with Lake Lewis at Lake Lewis Jr. on Twitter, NFL and Commanders Insider. We just talked about the new RFK site and its possibility. I already asked one draft question, but do want to focus now on the draft. As it is draft week, we have till 2030, which that's a long ways away. Somewhat, way time goes, it probably will be tomorrow. It'd feel like, but still. Speaking of the draft, Commanders. We mentioned we've talked about this. 5 picks. They're picking at 29.
Mm-hmm.
Their philosophy heading into draft night. If you would have to say more likely a trade up candidate or a trade down candidate, where would you rank that, or is your expectation, no matter what happens, unless something insanely freaky happens and the Bengals say we're trading Trey Hendrickson, let's just use that as the example because we keep using that as the example. You're going to pick at 29. They're probably going to pick either the best receiver or edge rusher that's available.
I think Washington's trading back out of 29. That's my assessment. I just have this feeling that there's going to be 3 to 4 players that they really, really like that might be ranked, 1, 2, 3, and 4 on their board that might still be sitting there. And because of that, I don't think you're going to take Jackson Dart to use him as leverage, but I do think you find a willing team that may see some of the players that you see, and they're really valuable to those teams as well, where you can say, hey, okay, we'll trade back to say like 36 or 37, but we're going to pick up a additional fifth rounder this year or something like that. You do it because you only have 5 draft picks. Although I do want to preface those 5 draft picks is not to worry if you're a Commanders fan, because they have at least 5 players from last year's draft that this is going to be their year. Their kind of rookie campaign of hitting the field consistently. So they'll have enough players. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I think they're going to trade out. I really do. I feel confident that they're going to trade back.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, most teams who have 5 picks do not feel like we need more than that, unless and then also for people out there, I always love when people say they have 5 picks, but then like 2 of them have been traded, and we talked about this last week. 2 have been traded for starters. Like it was a few years ago, the Eagles had 2 first-round picks, and they only used 1, and the other one went for, let me check notes. AJ Brown, and it's like you're not getting a player better than AJ Brown. You're not getting a player better than Deebo Samuel. Not a player better than Larry Tunsil, as they are right now for next season.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you on that. They've kind of had their draft, so to speak, without having it. So yeah.
But I feel like every I mean, every NFL fan, every draft fan has like their guy, and it's not like the first round guy. It's not even the second round guy. It's like a late round pick. Like to me, I was like, all right, I want the Eagles to draft Jeremiah Trotter Jr. as an Eagles fan, but that's because Jeremiah Trotter obviously
His
was
dad was there.
his dad was there, or like, or when Nakobe Dean was falling, like, you know, every team has their guys, and then like I think with Washington, I think getting Ben Snott when they did is someone who has friends that are big Kansas State fans. Like they were all excited about him and how good he could be. Is there a guy you see that could be we'll say a day 2, day 3 pick that maybe falls into the Commanders' lap and it's like, ooh, I think this could be a really intriguing player for them? Because first round's fun, we know, but we all know the first round guys.
Yeah, I think a guy like maybe like Demetrius Knight. You know, a lot of people don't know about Demetrius Knight, but Demetrius Knight, is a junior. Was a junior out of South Carolina, and he transferred, I think, from Georgia Tech, but he went into college as a quarterback. You don't find too many quarterbacks going over and playing linebacker. It's just different type of physicality, but this guy's an athlete, and I think he's a guy that at some point you could say was a second round, draft pick, but he could be a guy that's like a third rounder, or I doubt he falls into the fourth round, but you never know. So third or fourth. But yeah, those are those second day picks. Those are those guys that this is where Adam Peters will make his money. And, if you look at what he did last year, yeah, they had a lot of second round picks last year. They made some moves and maneuvered. They even traded with the Eagles last year. If people don't recall that, they did that. That's why Cooper DeJean went to Philadelphia, So I think that there are a lot of different players that are out there that, could give you an opportunity. There's a kid from LSU, Alexander, a corner that I think could be a day 2 guy that could really turn some heads. He could be a third or fourth round guy. So yeah, there's a bunch of them out there, and for the first time in a long time, you should feel really good that, those names and all these players that you and I can talk about, those guys in the building in Ashburn know who they are as well.
Yeah, I was thinking for Washington, I was like, I think if and our listeners, and I'm using my Virginia Tech degree here, but I think Bashal Tootin would fit them perfectly as a. You've heard that a lot. I'm assuming
I have.
Being from Richmond, obviously, but with his speed to pair with I almost said Brian Thomas, Brian Robinson, would fit perfectly. But I feel like that's the two obvious.
Is he elusive? Like seriously, because that's my only concern. I know he's fast and he's powerful, but is he elusive? Is he would you say he's a faster version of Austin Eckler, or would you say he's a faster version of Brian Robinson?
I would say he's a faster version of Austin Eckler. Like he breaks a lot of tackles. He does. He's just I mean, I don't want to say he's Sproles like, because Sproles was just very shifty, but I've heard like he's just a low to the ground. He's smaller, fast runner where he can hit the hole and he can hit your home run. I think the difference between him and Brian Robinson is I don't think Robinson's really good at getting you. If you got 5 yards, getting you 5 yards, whereas Bashal can break it and
take it to the house.
I mean, he did that against really good
what
teams.
They need desperately.
And so I think his just necessary speed and he can return. Like he was an All-American returner. So I think also another name to watch is the wide receiver Higgins from Iowa State.
Yeah, I like him a lot. See, I think he could very well sneak into the late first round. He's really good, and people don't realize this. He's 6'3", 6'4" slot receiver. You don't find those often, so I like him quite a bit too.
So I think that's another interesting pick. At Lake Lewis Jr. here on Twitter, NFL and Commanders Insider. Looking at the NFL draft as a whole, it's heading to Green Bay. We're gonna have a fun question here.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a chance ever the draft now with the regime change that the draft ends up in DC and you have I don't know where. Maybe the Lincoln Memorial. That'd be a cool place to do it. Draft picks walk across the Lincoln Memorial and shake Goodell's hand.
Yeah, I actually think that's very much going to be in play. I mean, it might even happen as early as 2030 if the stadium's done. I mean, that's what you do. That the league promotes their shiny toys. There's obviously Green Bay is a shrine, so to speak. I bypassed it this year. No, I'm not going to the draft this year. I was in Detroit last year. And it was pretty awesome just because Detroit's like going through a revitalization downtown. So it was just nice to see that. Green Bay is Green Bay. It's not going to be much happening there outside of the draft.
Yeah.
So decided to just go to Commanders Park for the next 3 nights. But I think Washington definitely will be in play, and especially with the new regime and let's face it, by 2030. Possibly, there could be a Super Bowl or two hanging in the rafters. Who's to say? And I don't mean the game; I mean the team winning one over the next 5 years. So I think anyone who covers that team wouldn't think that that's a far-fetched statement. Like if you'd said that 2 years ago.
Yeah. I'd say drafting Jaden Daniels, it would feel like a lot.
You have an opportunity.
It's nuts to think that the two best teams, the two best teams in the NFC reside in the NFC East. We're back to the early 2000s in the NFC East again from after some pretty dark days in the NFC East. At Lake Lewis Jr. on Twitter, NFL and Commanders Insider. Check out the Lake Lewis Jr. show on the Virginia Talk Radio Network podcast page as well. Lake, thanks so much for hopping in. Enjoy the draft coverage. I hope you UNC will have some fun up there. Make sure you have enough caffeine to get through the long nights, and then rest up. I guess rest up before next Tuesday.
I will. We'll have a lot to talk about next Tuesday for sure. So yeah, I appreciate it, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And that when we come back today in sports history, can Phillip do it? We'll find out. Plus, we'll teach Phillip not to overreact to game ones next year on the morning warm up.
Mark Dalton here with Terry Subaru. Love to drive? Then you'll love the all-new 2025 Subaru Wilderness family. These cars are built for adventure with symmetrical all-wheel drive, rugged capability, and legendary Subaru reliability. These stylish vehicles are ready for anything. Plus, every new Subaru we sell comes with an exclusive Terry Promise, a lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us on Forest Road in Lynchburg or browse our inventory online 24/7 at terrysubaru.com. Terry Subaru. You'll love our cars.
Hi, Gary the Third here, and I'm excited to say spring has arrived at Gary's Garden Center with great plants and a great selection. Gary's has seasonal color flowers along with vegetables, 60+ varieties of herbs, perennial flowers, and much more. With friendly service and great advice, we are always happy to answer your questions. Visit Gary's Garden Center at 794 Leesville Road for all your lawn and garden needs. Stop by, say hi, and take a look around.
Are you ready to move to the next chapter of your life? That means you're ready for us. Hi, I'm Moyann Harding, the region's only total turnkey realtor and interior designer. We'll come to you and help you decide what you're ready to let go of and bring you top dollar for those unwanted items. Most importantly, we'll sell your most valuable investment, your home. With decades of experience, just hand your keys to us and let the stress melt away. Call me today and book your consultation, www.moyann.com.
Moyann Harding, brokered by Keller Williams.
Join us on May 2nd and 3rd for Freedom 424's annual 5K event, Run for Their Lives, brought to you by Thrive Lynchburg Health and Wellness Expo. This combination of events seeks to bring Lynchburg all of the health and wellness resources that it so deserves. Come experience our 5K, our kids' 1-mile race, and an expo with over 50 vendors to give you the tips and tricks you need to stay healthy. We hope to see you out at the LU Indoor Track Complex Friday night or Saturday morning, May 2nd and 3rd.
At the Trost Law Group, the only basis upon which we judge ourselves is by the client's success. Everyone on our team understands our responsibility to our clients, which is why we'll do everything we can to be on top of our game for you. If you've been injured in an accident, you need a team who's focused on how they can benefit you. If you've been injured as a result of someone else's negligence, call the Trost Law Group at 777-HURT. That's 777-HURT, and put us to work for you.
Do you know what a cold climate heat pump is?
They're a new generation of heat pumps from Tara Lee Mosley that provide substantially more heat than traditional heat pumps, even when it's 5 degrees outside. This means your electrical auxiliary heat runs less, saving you big time on your electric bill. And with the recent spikes in electric utility rates, that's crucial. Plus, these new heat pumps qualify you for a $2,000 federal tax credit. Contact Tara Lee Mosley for more info on the new cold climate heat pumps.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the morning warm-up. Stay connected at Trey Lyle VT and Ty Tracy 90 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
7:48 on this Tuesday, April the 22nd. Philip, you have a losing record, and it includes giving you a half point. 26 and a half and 28. Can you find redemption today? And today in sports history, you're back. You know, Ty went 500 yesterday, so he set a low bar.
Okay.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James.
Many doubted we'd ever see it. But here it is. The return to glory.
It's time for Today in Sports History.
Seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
They go length of the court with Archie Diacono. 3 seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship.
Let's hear what Ty really knows about what happened on this day in sports history.
All right. You ready, Philip?
Let's go. Let's do it.
On this date in 1954, the NBA adopted this number, second shot clock, and this number, team foul rule.
Team foul. Wait, okay.
So I need two numbers.
Yeah.
How many seconds is the shot? How many seconds for a shot clock? And how many team fouls?
23 seconds, shot clock. Or 25. Oh, my.
You got to be kidding me. 24.
Like I was over under the number.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're not kidding. No, you're not. This is the one time I'm not giving you clue. It's a 24-second shot clock. It's
okay. Maybe I'm thinking like football too much play clock or
isn't it? It's 25-second play clock, right? 6 seconds, and then
I guess I'm never really
35.
Okay.
And the team foul rule for a half point.
Oh shit!
Basically, how many fouls they get before they get to the bonus, or how many fouls a player can get before he's fouled out.
6.
Thank you.
I didn't know if it was saying like that's a lot of point. That's
Half
a lot
point.
of fouls.
Half point. All right. If you can get one of these teams, I will give you credit.
All right.
In 1987, the NBA granted expansion franchises to these 4 cities. I will say this. 3 of them are in the playoffs. 1 of them are a capture the flag team.
What year was it?
1987. 1 of them has since moved from the city they were in.
Golden.
But got replaced by a team that's there now.
Got replaced.
And you're don't say the team you were going to say. One has had a lot of success, especially recently. One used to have a marquee team in its city, and then it moved to Los Angeles, and now is replaced and is playing the Los Angeles team. It got that Los Angeles team.
Rockets.
Who's
Bro, you
playing
said
the Lakers?
Oh, bro, the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves.
So that would be what city?
Oh, Minnesota.
There we go. You got one. All right. 2 are in Florida.
2 are in Florida.
We're naming cities, man.
We have Florida teams in the NBA playoffs.
What?
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Just name the Florida teams in the NBA. There's 2 of them.
Wait, let me think.
Where Paolo Banchero plays for one of them.
Oh, Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic.
Okay. And the other has had a lot of success since 2000. Has a certain type of culture. Has a certain type of culture.
Down south.
In the 305.
Down south Florida.
Wade County.
Whoa.
If you're in the Wade County, hey man, you in the Wade County, that's just a given.
It's
down south Florida.
It's the Miami Heat.
Oh my gosh. Why have I never
Philip, I think you know these. It's just you freeze in these moments. It's okay.
I
We're gonna work through it.
100% freeze.
And the last
100%.
one. All right. So this team is a Capitol Flag team, but they moved to New Orleans when there was this expansion team in '87, and they got added back in the mid 2000s.
Because of one person.
Because of well, he didn't own the team at the time.
Yeah.
It was the Bobcats when they came back. So it was the Hornets. There's your hint. Yeah. Who's the current Hornets team?
Oh, Charlotte.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not counting that.
Yeah.
I promise I know these teams. I promise I know these teams.
And just so people know, Charlotte and Miami joined the league in 88-89 season, while Minnesota and Orlando joined in the 89-90 season.
Yeah, I was they're a young team.
All right. We're going to the 2010 NFL draft that happened on this date.
Okay.
The number 1 pick was a quarterback from Oklahoma.
Oh, that's easy.
Sam Bradford.
Correct. Then we had Ndamukong Suh go 2, Gerald McCoy go 3, and then the Washington Commanders had the number 4 pick, and they selected a tackle out of Oklahoma.
Trent Williams.
Here we go. All right. Now we move to the 13th pick. The Philadelphia Eagles selected a player that has just recently retired.
Oh, Jason Kelsey.
Nope.
Oh.
He was a
7. Brandon Graham.
There we go. And then, for the most fun, the 25th overall pick was this famous dude that wasn't good at the position he was drafted, but also won a playoff game for that team. He's kind of famous. He won a Heisman. He prays a lot.
Oh, Tebow.
There we go.
Shoo.
All right, so
it's a rough start.
I'm going to give him 1 point for all of that work. I think that's fair.
It's well deserved for completely
Actually,
forgetting the
you
state
get
of
a half
Florida.
point. So he's at 28. And then I should give him more, but technically it's only one question he got wrong. So he's 28 and 29. Not bad.
I can play behind the.
You
the ball. a
improved
little
your
bit.
record somehow. You were 26 and a half and 28.
It's very rough, but we
So-
proceed.
I knew you weren't going to get the expansion question, so but man, once I gave you all the hints, I figured I was trying to help you, man.
No, you did more than enough. I don't know where my brain was at.
My favorite is to look at Ty because he just looks as shocked as ever. I don't know what's funnier, you going 23 then 25 on the shot clock, or you not knowing the Miami Heat. Like I really don't know what's funnier.
Completely forgetting every single city.
But this explains why you didn't listen yesterday.
Yeah.
So do not overreact to game once. We got Lakers T-Wolves tonight. I think the Lakers are going to win. I feel very confident in that. For example, in 2019, speaking of Kawhi Leonard, who we talked about earlier and how great he was, the Raptors, I think they were the 2 seed, took on the Orlando Magic in the first round. I am pretty sure that Jameer Nelson was still on that team in 2019. I'm like 50%. still, Aaron Gordon was on that team. The 2019 Orlando Magic beat the NBA champion Toronto Raptors in the game 1 of the first round. The Raptors had lost like 7 or 8 straight first round game 1s. So, if you could take anything away from today, is do not overreact to game 1. You could say there's concerns, which the size of the Timberwolves could be. And, I think the Lakers want Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels to shoot a bunch. So, I'm just saying, you're going to be okay.
It'll be a good game. My goat will lead the team.
Oh, it was DJ Augustine. That's who I'm thinking of. DJ Augustine is, I think, Magic 104, Raptors 101. So, don't overreact to game 1.
Start fast and just keep going.
So, do you think the Lakers win tonight?
Yeah, I don't think they could let another game slip under their belt, especially how fast they started the other night.
Man, Thunder Grizzlies should be the NBA TV game, not Bucks Pacers, but whatever. Just because it might be another 50. That's the one I will accept that you can say it's over. If you beat a team by 50 in game 1, you can say the series is over like the Thunder did. But that's also because the Grizzlies are a dead team walking. So, all right. That will do it for today on the Morning Warm. Thanks so much to Lake. Thanks, Philip. Thank you, Ty. Fun show today. Tomorrow, Bryson Gordon is on. Plus, we're going to make some bold predictions for the NFL draft. Mock it up tomorrow on the Morning Warm Up.